Hello. Okay, I'll just see who tunes in. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, you can hear me. That's good. Yes, I'm just going to hang around for about 10 minutes and see if anyone joins. Um, I usually get a lot of DM, which is why I decided to schedule this Q&A. I often get direct messages asking, what is Agile all about? What is Agile all about? And that is why I have scheduled this session to try and answer some of those questions. So I'm going to go to the comment section to see if there's anyone there. Can I have a reaction? If you can hear me, you can see me on Facebook, on YouTube, because I have scheduled this session because of all the DMs I do get of people asking what Agile is all about. So if you're here and you want to know about Agile, can you just make some comments? I can see comments from YouTube, and I believe I can also see comments from Facebook. So let me know, what do you want to know? Because that's why I'm here. What do you know about Agile? What would you like me to talk about? Any questions? I can see 3 people, but I can't see your comments. I can't see your questions. It's a Q&A, so I need you to ask me questions. And I can also go ahead and tell you what Agile is all about. But it will be nice to know what your questions are. Is it about roles in Agile? Is it about what Agile is all about? Is it about the opportunities out there in the Agile space? That's the whole point of this Q&A session. So let me just go ahead and talk about what Agile is while we're waiting probably for more people to join us. So the name is Mary Laniyo, and I'm an enterprise Agile coach. I'm a consultant, I'm a trainer, and I am also the host for the weekly online show, Sincerely Agile with Mary. So like I said before, a lot of people send me direct DMs asking, what is this Agile all about? So I'll tell you what Agile is. Agile is a mindset. Agile is a mindset. It is predominantly a mindset. It is a way of thinking. It is a way of being. And it has a lot to do with actually helping us transition to a better way of working and being. So, Agile is not just about work, it is also about life, if you like. It helps us to interact better, it helps us to collaborate better. So, Agile is predominantly a mindset. Now, organizations are really, really embracing the Agile way of working now, and rightfully so. If you look at the COVID situation, let me talk about things you can relate with. Now, the whole of last year, and we're still in it anyway, we've had this lockdown situation. The way we work has changed. We're mostly working from home now. Some businesses have actually gone into administration. Some other businesses are thriving. Now, the reason most of those businesses are thriving is because they had embraced the agile way of working. And when COVID hit, it was easy for them to continue with business as usual. It was, business continuity, as it were, was much easier for them. Now, let's go back a few decades when the environment was much more stable and we joined organizations and we were there for life. We started after university, we went through the ranks within the organization, and we retired from the same organization. That could happen because the environment was pretty much stable. Things were predictable. Today, not so much. Today, we have an environment that is very, very volatile, an environment that is very, very uncertain. And because the environment is so uncertain, we can't continue to do things the way we have always done them. And talking about practices, talking about not being able to do things the way we have always done them, we can't also bring the same mindset, and think that would work today. That will not work. In a stable environment, we had command and control kind of mindset, do as directed. Okay, I lost my connection very briefly there, but I'm back now. Okay, so I was talking about the traditional way of working, the traditional way of thinking, and how that cannot work today because we are now in a knowledge economy. So you need to create an environment where your employees can actually apply themselves as opposed to doing as directed. Thank you very much, Jamil, and thank you for being here. So the mindset is totally different today. And that is what Agile is promoting, that we need to embrace that new mindset. So that is why I keep repeating that Agile is all about the mindset. It's not just about practices. Yes, it's a mindset and it is a set of frameworks as well, because Agile is an umbrella term. It also has, different frameworks under that umbrella. But I like to emphasize about the mindset aspect of it. Because, like I said before, it is predominantly human transformation. So, when we talk about organizational transformation, you are actually helping people to change. That is what you're doing. You're helping people to change. So, the traditional way of managing organizations cannot work today. You can't come into organizations today where we're talking about the knowledge economy and think that you can have that command and control approach and that people will stick with you. I mean, even organizations like Google that are supposed to be one of the best places to work in today, they have quite a churn. I think at Google, you have about 3 years turnover rate of employees, and that is one of the greatest places to work. And that is because people move around a lot today. Even when you're in a great organization, you want to try something else. You don't want to become stale. You want to try something else. So agile is a mindset. Agile is a mindset. So I'm just trying to see if we have any. Victoria is saying, so how do you implement the agile mindset into the way a business operates? Okay, you start by educating people. You start by educating people so that they know what the agile mindset is all about, so that they know what it means to work in an agile environment. That is where you start. And you communicate the benefits of Agile to them. Because if I'm going to buy into something, then I really need to know what I'm getting, right? I need to know what I'm getting, what's in it for me. What are the benefits for me? That's what I'll be looking for. And how does it benefit the organization? What do we stand to gain as individuals, as teams, as organizations? What do we stand to gain? And how does that position us with regards to our competitors? So those are the questions you want to make sure you can answer before people can even take the chance to go agile. And if they want to go agile, you have to start with a pilot. It's always a good idea to start with a small part of the organization and then to learn from that, because we often say that when you want to do an agile transformation, it's always a good idea to actually do it the agile way. So that's it. Let's see what else anyone has to say. Okay, I can't see any questions right now. So I'm just going to talk a little bit more about how before COVID, we often talked about how the environment was, we reference the environment as a VUCA world. And when we say VUCA, what we're talking about is that the environment is volatile, it is uncertain, it is complex, and it is ambiguous. Now, add COVID to that equation, then what you have is complexity of some exponential magnitude. And this actually makes the case for agile transformation. This makes the case for agile transformation. Now, for a while, things have been dull. Things have been dull work-wise, but I can assure you, by the time we start seeing the tail end of this COVID situation, a lot of organizations are going to start embracing the agile way of working. And what does that mean? That means there'll be more opportunities in the agile space for Scrum Masters, for agile business analysts, for product owners, agile delivery managers, developers, name it. There will be more and more opportunities in that space because more organizations will want to embrace the agile way of working, especially because they have seen how the organizations that were thriving during this COVID period, they have seen how agile benefited them essentially. For me, do you have any question? What brought you here? Do you have any question? Do you know anything about agile? What do you know about agile, or what do you want to know? I'm trying to explain what agile is in very simple language because I would imagine that the people turning up today are people who really don't know much about agile. So as I was saying, agile is a mindset. It is a new way of working. It is a way of thinking differently, taking us away from the traditional mindset of command and control. So when we talk about agile, it's not just about the practices in terms of, I'm doing Scrum, or we are doing Kanban, or we are doing Crystal. It's also about our behaviors. It is also about our organizational culture. It is also about leadership. How do you show up as a leader? As a leader within your organization, how do you show up? Okay, I have a question here. What if you let me bring it up. Okay. Tasbi, good evening and thank you for being here. What if you are moving into an organization with new teams currently? How would you approach agility initially in the next 30 to 60 days? How would you assess the agility level? Well, for you to even begin doing any form of assessment, I would want to believe you have started that journey already. So what are you assessing against? When did you start your agile journey? Have you educated people? Have you actually embarked on an agile transformation? And when I say agile transformation, it doesn't have to be the entire organization. Okay, let's take a part of the organization. You want to experiment with the agile way of working. You have to start by educating them. You have to train them. You have to let them know what's in it for them because it's a huge change. Because you go into organizations, people have been working in a certain way for 30 years, 10 years, 15 years. And all of a sudden, you are asking them to work in a different way. You are asking a lot of them. So you have to make sure you train them. They are well educated, well informed about this new mindset shift, this new set of practices that they have to embrace. And knowing fully well that this is a journey, you have to give it time. But of course, when we talk about transformation, you must have checkpoints. You must have intervals where you actually assess their maturity to say, okay, how well are we doing with our, agile journey? But one thing I must emphasize here is this: the goal is not agile. The goal is business agility, because the environment is constantly changing. It's not just about delivering your goods and services speedily, because you can deliver the wrong thing speedily. I hope I'm making sense, Taz. You can deliver the wrong service speedily. You can deliver the wrong product speedily. So it is not enough that you are able to churn things out quickly. So essentially, business agility is the goal. High performing team, that is your goal. You want to ensure that you are able to help the team organize, embrace the agile way of thinking and being, and of course understanding the practices and starting that journey. If you can help them start that journey towards high performance, then you're good to go. Because agile is not the goal. High performance is the goal. Why? The environment is constantly changing. So if you can create a high performing team that can continuously journey onwards, then you have achieved a whole lot. Because when we talk about a high performing team, we're talking about a team where they collaborate very well. They can have difficult conversations, because that is usually the challenge. That is usually the challenge. So if we're a high performing team, it doesn't matter what the environment throws at us. It doesn't matter what our competitors throws at us. We are able to regroup and overcome those challenges and come up with, new and innovative solutions. That is what agile is all about. That is what we're talking about when we say business agility or high performing team. Taz, I hope I'm answering your question. So you have to start by educating them, letting them understand what's in it for them. There must be, what's the goal? Why do we want to, go the agile way? What are we trying to achieve? What is the why? They must understand the why. Otherwise, it's just going to be another activity. It's just going to be another activity in the, and a tick in the box. And we don't want that, because what we're looking for is for people to change. That's what we're looking for. It's at the heart of Agile is human transformation. And that is what I love about Agile. Any other question? Okay, I'm happy I could answer. The why is so critical. The why is so important. You can't omit that. Why are we going Agile? Is it because we want to get our products to the market speedily? Is it because we want to be much more innovative? Is it because we want more employee engagement? We want, happy teams? What's the why? We must know the why, and we must connect with the why. We must have a shared understanding of why we want to go agile. You're not going agile just because you attended a conference and everybody's gone agile. That will be totally wrong. You must have your business reason, your goals for going agile. That's where to start. That's where to start. Any other questions? Fumi Echo, hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. What would you like to know? Do you know anything about Agile? Victoria has a question. Victoria said, would you say there are certain projects that are Agile is more suited for? Absolutely, Victoria. Agile is not a silver bullet. Agile is not a silver bullet. For example, if you want to construct a bridge, you're not going to give me a bridge in iterations. You're not going to give me a bridge in bits. You're going to have to deliver that bridge in one go. So you will have to plan the construction of the bridge and everything that needs to be done. and the construction of the bridge, for example, will have to commence, and it will have to happen sequentially and be delivered at some point in the future. Now, Agile, however, is better suited to projects that are volatile, projects where the requirements are constantly changing. Okay, so Agile is better suited to those kind of projects. So essentially, we still have projects out there that are best suited to the traditional way of, managing projects and delivering projects. So yeah, Agile is not a silver bullet. What else can I tell you about Agile? It's a great space to be in. Hello, Tinuke. Nice to have you here. The Agile space is an awesome place to be in. I mean, I said this when I went live with Sincerely Agile with Mary. The reason I love Agile is because it is people driven. For me, Agile has brought back, it has reignited, if you like, humanity in the workplace. Because traditionally, it is almost as though we are expected to behave like robots in the workplace. And we are not robots, we're humans. We're human. We go into the workplace. I mean, organizations spend so much recruiting the best talent. They spend so much recruiting the best talent, and then they get these great talents into their organization, and they're trying to treat them like robots, telling them to do, as they are told, do as directed. So why did you employ these great minds if you're just going to get them into your organization to do as directed? Where's the innovation going to come from? Where is the innovation going to come from? As you and I know, innovation comes through experimentation. That is how you get innovation, through experimentation. Google gives about 20% of their work time to their employees to do what they like. In other words, to experiment with things. The Gmail we are all using today, Gmail, was as a result of that kind of mindset to say, you know what, take 20% and go and work on a project you like, the project that makes you tick, the project that you're passionate about. Innovation can only come through experimentation. So, Agile, reignites humanity, not just at work, in life generally. And that is why I'm so passionate about Agile. And that is why I'm using my platform to create more and more awareness about Agile and get more people to come into this space. Now, there's a huge misconception. People thinking, oh, Agile is difficult, it's technical, I have to be a programmer. Excuse me. It's a very technical domain. No, it's not. It is not. It is not at all. There are a lot of roles in the Agile domain. Yes, there are some Scrum Masters, for example, where they might say, we want you to be a technical Scrum Master. It will be, communicated. But you don't have to be a techie to come into this space. Taz is saying something. Yes, I love being in the environment that allows for time. Yes, you need time to ideate and innovate, okay? Because teams tend to thrive in this. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's a knowledge economy. And especially with the development teams, they are creative people. Developers are creative people. You don't want to put them in a box. You don't want to put them in a box at all. You want to give them the latitude to be creative. So this is what Agile is trying to unleash. Agile is trying to unleash the creativity, the intelligence, the experience, everything we bring to the table so that organizations can leverage that. But unfortunately, there are still some leaders who are stuck in the past. They're stuck in the past. They still believe in that command and control environment, but they are doing themselves a disservice. If you're creating a command and control environment for your employees, you're doing yourself a disservice. And it doesn't matter whether you're a small organization or you are a Netflix or a Google or a Facebook. It doesn't matter. So if you're running a small business, you need to start applying the agile mindset to your small business. If you're running a small business, even like a salon, a small business, it has nothing to do with size. And because you have that agile mindset and you're, leveraging the qualities that your employees bring to the table, before you know it, your business is going to grow. Your business will grow because you're leveraging the ideas. They have a voice. You have created a safe environment for them. And because you have created a safe environment, they can approach you. You are approachable. As a leader, being approachable is an agile mindset. It is an agile mindset. Taking that stance of, I want to be approachable as a leader. You have to decide the kind of leader you want to be in an agile environment. You have to be approachable. You have to be authentic. That is what agile is all about for the most part. Yes, like I said, we have the practices, but I'm focusing more on the mindset, the lean, agile mindset. How do you show up as a leader? As an employee, how do you show up? It's not just about the leader now, it's about everybody. As an employee, how do you show up? Do you show up just to earn for the day? Do you show up hoarding knowledge or the things you know you don't want to share with anybody because you want to be the hero or shiro, if you like, within your organization? Or do you show up ready to collaborate, ready to give your best, thinking beyond today? This is, for me, this is what Agile is all about. And this is what I'm promoting. This is what I'm promoting. And like I said before, I'm encouraging more and more women to come into this space. Now, I've got another question here. Can you apply a part of Agile to projects? Can Agile be used in a hybrid of methodologies, or is the only way to do Agile to apply it at 100%? Wagwan, no. You can apply Agile in bits, I guess, because, for example, I talked about how Agile is not a silver bullet. So let's go back to the waterfall environment. So if we are in a construction site where, they are doing things the traditional way, using PMP, using traditional waterfall project methodology, does that mean we can't apply the Agile mindset? Does that mean we can't apply the lean mindset? The answer is no. So there are some ways of being, thinking that we can take to any environment at all. And that is why sometimes we even say there are some things in Agile that is just common sense, to be honest. Some things are just common sense. So yes, it doesn't always have to be 100%. You can take some of that thinking, some of that way of doing things into other areas as well. So back to what I was saying, Agile is a mindset. It is about how you want to show up. How do you want to show up as a leader? How do you want to show up as an employee? Also, when we talk about Agile, we're also talking about lean. Especially now, we have to be lean. As a business, you want to minimize waste. Lean is about looking at your business in its entirety. It's about having a systems, view, a systems thinking view of your business to say, if I change something in this part of the business, what is the effect on the other part of the business, of the system, if you like. So you don't want to optimize a part of the system at the expense of another part of the system. That's why we talk about taking that systems view. Okay. And these are COVID times. We need to cut down on waste in any way possible. We really need to cut down on waste. Lean is about cutting down waste and being more efficient. So as a business owner, you need to review your processes from time to time. So lean and agile, they actually work together. So when we talk about agile, we're talking about responsiveness. We're talking about iterating so that we can attend to the changes in the environment. We're talking about high quality deliverables. It works hand in hand with lean. So we want to move fast, but we want to minimize waste as we're moving fast. We also want to minimize waste. So as you can see, it works together. Any other question? So as you can see, there's so much to gain. There is so much to gain with the agile mindset, with the agile way of working. There's just too much to gain. Hello, Cole, Lanre Cole from Tanzania. Hello, thank you for being here. Do you have any questions for me? Any questions for me at all? Are you already familiar with the agile way of, working, the agile mindset? If you're still here, which I believe you are. Okay, any more questions? Fumi Eko, do you have any question for me? Jamil, do you have any question? Are you familiar with Agile? I see you agreeing with something there. Okay. Fumi says interesting. Fumi, do you want to know more? Okay, Tunde Tabi is here. Hello, Tunde, how are you? Well done, coach. One of my mentees. Okay. Okay, it seems like we don't have any more questions. Is there anything at all you want me to touch on? Anything at all? Anything at all? We have a 1 hour time box. We still have 28 minutes. Anything at all? Just put it up. So as you can see, there's so much to gain with the agile way of working. Now, let me talk about the roles in the agile environment. You can come into the agile space as an agile business analyst. Remember, I said earlier that you don't have to be a techie. Now, imagine you've been working with an insurance company for a very long time and you really, really understand the insurance business. You could transition to to a product owner. So you could be a product owner for an insurance company. That doesn't have to be technical. So you're the one responsible for the delivery of value. You're the one engaging with the stakeholders to know what they need for the business. And that is then being translated into, user stories for the development team. And the development team will come up with their own technical stories. Okay. They will come up with their own technical stories to develop the digital product. So as you can see, you don't have to be a techie. You can come in as a product owner because you have domain knowledge in a particular area. It could be that you have domain knowledge in marketing, you have domain knowledge in insurance, you have domain knowledge in banking or investment or core banking, whatever the case may be. You can also come in as a business analyst because you have domain knowledge. You can also come into the agile space as a scrum master. Now, if we go back to the traditional project manager role, in an agile environment, the traditional project manager role has been split into two. So traditionally, the project manager was responsible for the processes, for value, and everything. But in an agile environment, you have the product owner and you have the scrum master. Now, those two roles traditionally was done by the project manager. But in an agile environment, it has been split into two. The product owner takes care of the value that is delivered, engaging with the stakeholders, making sure that the requirements are captured. And the Scrum Master is responsible for ensuring that the team, the development team, leverages the Agile framework. And this could be Kanban, it could be, Scrum. But this Scrum Master is there for the process, is there to facilitate the team, making sure that they understand what Agile is all about, making sure that they understand how to use the framework, and protecting the team. The Scrum Master is there to protect the team so that they have their focus period to deliver on commitment. Because they commit if they are doing Scrum, they have a commitment, they have a time window where they commit to a certain level of deliverables, and the Scrum Master then ensures that they are able to use the Scrum framework to deliver on commitment. Um, okay, I've got someone else here. Okay, Adiola Odumuyiwa. I'm new to the BA world and I just got a role in an agile environment in one of the major banks. I'm expected to hit the ground working, of course. How do you suggest I approach this project? You need to understand what the project is all about. I mean, regardless of your level of experience, when you join a team, when you join a project, you need to be briefed. You need to understand what the project is all about. Who are the stakeholders? What does the business need? Why are they embarking on that project? What is required of you? I mean, definitely, if you say you're a BA, that has a lot to do with, engaging with stakeholders so that you can gather their requirements. You can elicit their requirements. So there's a lot you need to do with the stakeholders because it's all about trying to get what they want, helping them understand what they want. Because you see, a lot of the times, even the users, the customers don't know what they want. And that's the beauty of Agile. The customers don't know what they want. And there's what we call ikiwisi. I'll know it when I see it. And this is where you come in as a BA. As a BA, I want to believe you understand the whole concept of prototyping. You understand the whole concept of product discovery, right? Design thinking. As a BA, these are practices you must be familiar with because these are the things you are going to do at the beginning of the project so that you can fully get, you can picture, you can conceptualize what the stakeholders want or what the end users or customers want. So these are things you must do. But in order for you to really understand what you need to do, you need to have a brief. You need to, I mean, what are they trying to do? Is it an insurance product? Is it a medical record system? What are they trying to achieve? And why are they trying to achieve that? Because you need to understand the why of that project. You need to understand the outcomes they are trying to achieve. You need to empathize with the users of the system. You need to be able to empathize with the users of the system. Unless you know what they're trying to achieve, then you're not going to be able to engage properly. So you need to be briefed properly. And like I said before, I want to believe that you know your onions as a business analyst. In other words, all the tools and techniques that you need to apply to be successful in this environment is already familiar with you. And that's to do with, stakeholder management, design thinking, product discovery, and your product roadmap. All of that is down to you and the product owner. So you are going to be working very closely with the product owner. So I would say, do you have a product owner, by the way? I'm sure you do. Let me know if you have a product owner. So you're going to be working very closely because some organizations tend to use their business analyst as a product owner. But if you have a product owner, you really are going to be working very closely with the product owner. Get all the information you need. Ask questions, especially when you're just starting a new job. Do not make assumptions. Assumptions can be very expensive. Okay. So ask questions, work very closely with the product owner. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Adiola. I hope that answers your question. Yes, there's a product owner. Cool. So if you have a product owner, work very closely with your product owner. Your product owner understands what the clients or the end users or customers or stakeholders, what they want. And the beauty of working the agile way is that you can start with a prototype. When you go through your design thinking phase, you are engaging with the customers. This is the beauty of working the agile way. Unlike the traditional way we used to work, where the customers will come at the beginning, tell you what they want, and then they disappear. And then they come back 9 months later, you give them the product, it's not what they want. Today, when we talk about the agile way of working, we are engaging much more frequently with the customers. So when we deliver on iterations, very quickly, they can let us know if we are on track or not, if it is right or wrong. So you see, we minimize the risk of delivering the wrong product. We seriously minimize that risk. And then also, because we are, using prototypes, or should I say, wireframes. We also use wireframes. These are like, paper prototypes. It's easy for them to make corrections, for them to tell you if you're on track or not. I hope this is already happening in your environment, Adiola. I want to believe this is already happening in your environment where you're doing the design thinking, you're engaging with the stakeholders, and they're making corrections there and then when it is still easy to make those corrections. Because you actually haven't built anything yet. You're just prototyping on paper. You are prototyping on paper to get feedback from the stakeholders. Okay. Any other questions? So, like as I was saying, product owner, you can come into the agile space as a product owner, you can come as an agile business analyst, you can come as a delivery manager, agile delivery manager, you can come in as an agile coach, but that would be maybe after working as a scrum master. But if, and I use the word if you're already a consultant working in organization development, then you can fast track your way into being an agile coach or an enterprise agile coach. Because at the enterprise agile coach level, almost 70% of what we do as enterprise coaches has a lot to do with what we've been doing previously in terms of process improvement, change management, employee engagement, strategy development, and all of that, strategy facilitation. So a lot of that we've been doing before. So as a consultant, you're thinking about coming into the agile space as a coach, I will seriously encourage that. Take an agile training, do a scrum master course, do the product owner training, get to understand all the different roles, go on a coaching course as well, and just see how that goes. So you can also come in as a coach. If you're already working as a consultant, it's easy. But if you're working as a scrum master, after some time, you can start taking some training in coaching and then progress towards agile coaching. Okay, Adiola, I'm happy that I answered that properly for you. Okay, so I want to believe you got some value from the way I answered that. I can't see any other question here. I'm just thinking, what else can I talk about that might add value? Let's talk about the COVID situation. Now, with COVID, as you can see, some businesses are doing very well. They are doing very well at this time because they had started their agile transformation. So when COVID hit, it was easy for them. Business continuity was much easier for them. Now, once this COVID situation starts to ease, I strongly believe that more and more organizations will want to embark on their agile journey. So, this is where I'm encouraging you to say, start skilling up. Start skilling up. If you're a small business owner, the mindset will help you a lot. If you're a small business owner and you want your business to grow, then start asking yourself, what does it mean to apply the lean, agile mindset to my business? What does that mean for me as a leader to show up with the right mindset? So if you are the type of leader who, up until now, you never really created a safe environment where your employees can approach you and say, hey, madam, I know we've been doing this like this for a long time, but I really think we should try this. Because one thing I need you to remember is this: your employees are closer to your customers. It's a no-brainer. Your employees are closer to your customers. They see what you don't see. They have the answers most of the time. They can empathize with the customers better than you can. You are in your office most of the time, maybe. And this is where some big organizations got it wrong. Organizations like Kodak, like Nokia. Decision making was so far off. So, in your small business, you need to start thinking differently. Empower the people working for you. Ask yourself, How much power can I give them? You know, I'm not saying decentralize everything, but ask yourself, am I holding to too much power? Do they have to come and meet me for every little thing that they need to do with a customer? We need to give people the power they need to do the work they are doing where they are doing the work. This is what Agile is all about. Agile is not just about daily stand up and sprint planning and, you know, sprint review. No, sometimes all you need is a change of behavior. Sometimes that is all we need. This is how I have been showing up as a leader. But is there something better? Well, now you know Mary Lanier is talking about it. So, how do you show up as a leader? Are you the kind of leader that when you show up, you want people to be shaking like a leaf? You like it. Some people like it. Some people like it. Or that at the top, they like it. When they are coming, they want everybody to be shaking like a leaf. When they are talking, nobody can talk. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're a business owner. A huge disservice. You have paid people, but you're not using their brain. You have paid them for their brain, not their hands. You have paid people to think, but you are not letting them think because you are creating an environment of fear. Think about it. You are creating an environment of fear. And because there's fear in the air, even when things are going wrong, they will keep quiet because you are not approachable. They don't have a voice. Every time they talk, you shut them down. And this is a global problem. This is not a problem that is peculiar to any part of the world. It is still happening even in the West. I work as an agile coach. I have seen situations where, a team members will say something, and when some manager come in, they keep quiet. Even here in the West, they can't speak sometimes because that manager is that bossy type, that command and control type. And this is what Agile is trying to correct. The Agile mindset. This is what we're trying to correct. We're not saying you're not a leader. Just because you are willing to be vulnerable doesn't make you weak. It does not make you weak. If anything, it makes you stronger. And you're wiser for it because you're leveraging the people working for you. Any questions? So, how we show up as leaders matters big time. Big time. And as team members, how are we with each other? That is all about the agile mindset. Are we competing or are we collaborating? Are we competing or are we collaborating? I mean, I remember a while back in Nigeria, I did a lot of traveling because I work as a consultant. So I would often, use hotels, of course. And there was this particular day I was in a hotel and I believe I had called the kitchen, asked for food. My food didn't come on time. And then I called the reception to say, you know what, I'm still waiting for my food. And the way he answered really made me laugh. When I remember today, I still laugh. It was like, don't mind them. They are very useless in that kitchen. I couldn't help myself, but that is his level of understanding. Okay. So when we are not collaborating, when we are competing, us and them within the same organization, us and them. And yet, we're supposed to be serving the same customer. How does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. But that is what happens when we work in silo. Oh, my department, your department. Agile is trying to create end-to-end teams so that we have a mixture of people in one team that can deliver value. Mindset, that is what Agile is. It's a mindset. Changing our behaviors as human beings. And Agile is not just about work. It's about life. It is about life in general, how we show up, being more compassionate, creating an environment of safety. So it's all about psychological safety. So how we show up. I think there's another comment. Let's see what that is. Okay, let me jump. Yeah, right. Great question, Victoria. Now more than ever, we need agile leadership to be sensitive and compassionate. Okay. And this is where some of the organizations that were already embracing and, using this kind of mindset did better than others because leadership was already, you know, showing up with much more sensitivity and compassion. They understand the whole idea of creating a safe environment. They understand, the whole idea of employee engagement. And that just became easier for them to just continue. However, if you're not already showing up as that kind of leader, then you want to ask yourself, what is required of me at a time like this? It is not easy because, as we all know, I mean, no one saw this coming. No risk analyst could have predicted what has happened with COVID-19. No risk analyst saw this coming like this. So this has hit everybody hard. But however, what we need to do is to then take a step back to then say, given this situation, how do we want to move forward? How do we regroup ourselves? What kind of a leader do I need to be now? I need to be a leader that listens. I need to be a leader that listens. I need to ensure that the environment is safe because, I mean, everything is up in the air. We need to be able to have those difficult conversations. If things aren't going right, I need to be approachable as a leader so that we can nip things in the bud as quickly as possible. So that's the kind of leader, you want to show up, your authentic self. You really, really want to be authentic and you want to be vulnerable. More than anything, it is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to say, I don't know. And because you don't know, people, it's going to be a collaborative effort. But if you're showing up as a leader that seems, believes he or she knows everything, then people are just going to step back. But when we show up and we are willing as leaders to be vulnerable, we achieve so much because then people can, step into that space and say, actually, I did this 2 years ago. Actually, I've experienced that before. But you need to be able to say, I don't know, or I need help, even as a leader. And that goes for all of us at a time like this. But it requires an environment, it takes an environment that is safe for people to be willing to take what I call or what is called interpersonal risk. Because if the environment is not safe, you're not sure. If you ask for help, somebody is going to look at you as being incompetent or shut you down or whatever the case may be. So if the environment is safe, then we are able to take interpersonal risk. But if it is not, then we're going to keep quiet and the work will suffer. The work will suffer. The organization ultimately will suffer. And we have seen this happen with big organizations like Kodak and Nokia and Blockbuster, okay, where we had leadership so far removed from the shop floor, status difference, ego coming into play, leaders being, unapproachable and stuff like that. So I hope that answers your question, Victoria. We need to be willing to be vulnerable. Um, Emma Lade, nice to see you here. I hope you've learned something this evening. You're a businessman, so there's one or two things for you to take away here. Any other questions? Okay, we've got just 6 minutes left. I want to keep to the time box. So if you are interested, I do a lot of trainings. If you're interested in my training, there's another one coming up this month. The induction will start on January 22nd. And if you want to know more, just go to my website and fill out the contact us form if you want to know more. I take on people every 3 months. I'm just wrapping one session up and I'm starting another one. And I have had a few success stories. I have trained people, coached people, helped them write their CV, helped them prepare for interviews, and help onboard them on the job. Because obviously, especially if you're working as a Scrum Master for the first time, you need that support. So I train you, you take your certification with one of the certifying body. But what I do, I train you so that you become qualified for the job. Okay, like I said here, I said beyond certification, we get you ready and qualified to get the job done. So we are situating you in real life scenarios. And because I work as an enterprise agile coach, I'm able to really guide you into these roles. Okay, so if you're interested in coming into the agile space as a scrum master, as a product owner, go to my website, use the contact us form, and let's have the conversation started. I've got just 4 more minutes, so if you have any question, let's see. I think I've got some comments here. Um, okay, okay. Yeah, so thank you for taking the time to join me today. I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope it was a useful session for you. And if you're a business owner, please take what I've said here very seriously. One thing I say to leaders is that as a boss, as a leader, manager, boss, there's already that fear of authority, whether we like it or not. That fear of authority, oh, he's my boss. Oh, he's the director. It is already there. So as a leader, you want to be very, very aware of that and not amplify that fear, because there's already that natural fear. Oh, that's my boss coming. Oh, that's your guy at the top coming. That is already there. Do not amplify it. If you do, you're doing your business a disservice. Your business will not grow fast enough because people will not apply themselves. Okay? People will not apply themselves. Another thing I do is I do one-to-one coaching for leaders. I do one-to-one coaching for managers. How can we help you step into that agile mindset and begin to grow? It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't, we never promise it's going to happen overnight because it takes time to, change old habits, right? It takes time. So, but how can we help you step into that mindset and start that journey? That is what I do with managers and leaders. Okay? Stepping into that space and starting that journey. It is a journey and it is something we have to do in a very systemic way because it is a journey and there are different phases involved. Imagine a manager in an agile environment that feels they've lost their status. That manager needs help. You need to help them facilitate their, the understanding of their new role. So if you take nothing away from here today, as a business owner, please remember that showing up as a leader that puts fear about, you are messing up your own business. You're not doing yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not helping your business at all. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you. I like to keep it to 1 hour. So please go to my website. Go to my website and contact me if you want to join my January training. You can reach me through LinkedIn. You can reach me through Facebook as well. By all means, get in touch. And I'll probably do this once a month. I'll probably do this Q&A once a month. We're trying different things. We're trying to engage with, with people. We are trying to really get people into this space. And on Sunday, we are going to have a guest talking about are you the CEO of your brain? Are you the CEO of your brain? You don't want to miss it. Omozua, you don't want to miss it. So see you on Sunday, hopefully. And like I said, just try. It's a journey. It wouldn't happen overnight, but just try. Just ask yourself some questions. Start a journey of self-awareness. That's what you need to do. Start a journey of self-awareness. And feel free to drop me any question on LinkedIn or on Facebook. I'm happy to answer your questions. If there are some questions that you would have loved to ask today but didn't get around to it, feel free. And then we'll see again sometime. It's 8 o'clock on the dot now. So thank you very much, and bye bye. Thank you.